tell you about a Tuesday I had a while back. Nothing happened that Tuesday. That's the whole point of the story. Nothing happened, and by 9 o'clock that night I was completely worn out, sitting on the edge of my bed, and I could not have told you one single thing I'd actually done all day. And I remember thinking, what is this? I didn't run a marathon. I didn't have some big crisis. So why do I feel like I've been through something? It took me a long while to work out the answer. It wasn't one big thing that wore me out. It was about 400 tiny ones. Should I get up now? Or in a minute? Should I eat? Or wait? Is it worth starting the dishes? Or should I leave them? Should I answer that? Should I deal with this? All day long. 1,000 little decisions, not one of them mattering a bit on its own, but all of them together, sitting on my shoulders like a backpack I forgot I was wearing. Because that's the thing nobody warns you about when you live alone. It isn't the quiet that gets you. It isn't the empty side of the bed. It's the friction. Every choice, from the biggest to the most ridiculous little one, lands on you. Only you. There's nobody to split it with. And that can grind you down, day after day, or, and this is what I want to talk about today, you can quietly outsmart the whole thing. So, hi, come in, sit down, get yourself something warm. I've been living on my own a long time now, long enough to have done it badly for years before I started doing it well. And here's what I finally figured out. The people who make living alone look easy, they are not more disciplined than the rest of us. I promise you they're not. I certainly am not. They've done something sneakier. They've set up their days so the right choice and the easy choice are the same choice. So they don't have to decide anymore. It's already decided. I've got 8 of these little habits to share, and I'll be honest right up front, not one of them is impressive. If you're waiting for the big dramatic secret, it's not coming, because there isn't one. But stay with me to the end, because it's the way they stack together that does the real work, and the last one is the one that actually changed how I feel in my own home. So let's start small. Number 1. Never leave a room with your hands empty. Anytime I get up, anytime I'm going from one room to the next, I do a quick little scan on my way out, and I grab one thing that belongs where I'm headed. The cup goes with me to the kitchen. The book that wandered onto the couch goes back toward the shelf. I'm making the trip anyway. It costs me nothing. Now, this sounds almost too obvious to say out loud, but here's why it matters so much more when you live alone. In a house full of people, mess sort of redistributes itself. Somebody moves a thing, somebody tidies. When you live alone, that never happens. If you set something down and walk away, it stays there, forever, or until you deal with it. I used to treat cleaning as this big dreaded Saturday event, a whole day gone. And I realized the big mess was never really a big mess, it was just 1,000 I'll get it laters piled in one spot. So now I never let them pile. I carry one thing at a time, and the house tidies itself in the background while I'm just living. Deal with the little thing while it's still little. Remember that. You'll hear it from me again. Number 2. If it takes 2 minutes, it doesn't go on a list. It just gets done. I resisted this one for years. Because I am a champion putter-offer. My logic used to be, oh, I'll batch it, I'll do all the small jobs at once later. That's efficient. And what I ended up with was a head full of later. A running list of 15 tiny undone things, all nagging at once, which is so much heavier than just doing them. So now, if it'll take less than 2 minutes, I do it the moment I notice it. Rinse the plate instead of leaving it to soak. Hang the towel. Write the appointment down the second I hang up, because I will not remember, I know myself. And here's the surprise, it's not really about the plate. An undone little job follows you. Every time you pass that plate, some corner of your mind goes, oh, right, the plate, and it costs you a flicker of attention. Tiny, but you've got a dozen going at once, all day. That was my exhausting Tuesday right there. So I shut them off one at a time as they come. Do it now. Done. Move on. There's a real peace in that. Number 3, and this one I do out of pure love, for a very specific person, future me. Every night before bed, I do 3 or 4 tiny things. Not for tonight me. Tonight me is fine. She's comfortable on the couch. I do them for tomorrow morning me. Because let me tell you about morning me. Morning me is running on about 10% battery until the coffee hits, and if she has to make even one extra decision, she is not pleased about it. So evening me looks after her. I fill the coffee maker so it's ready to just press and go. I set my vitamins out by the kettle. I give the kitchen one quick lap so I'm not waking up to last night's dishes. Because is there anything more demoralizing than a messy kitchen first thing in the morning? 5 minutes, total. But on the other end, I shuffle out half asleep, and everything's ready, and it feels like somebody who loves me got up early and got it all set so my morning would be gentle. And somebody did. It was me. When you live alone, you don't have anyone else to do that for you, so you learn to do it for yourself, across time. You become the person who's got your own back. Honestly, that might be my favorite one on the whole list. Number 4. When you find something that works, buy more of it. Stop looking. I am done with what I call auditioning. Standing in the store, staring at 40 versions of the same thing, trying to remember which one I liked. When I find the thing, the shampoo that's right, the socks that don't slide down into my shoes, the little sponge that's somehow just better than every other sponge on earth, I don't forget about it. I buy 2, sometimes 3. I've got a little backup shelf in the garage, and it is one of the quiet comforts of my life. Because think about what running out actually costs. It's not just the trip, it's the whole decision, all over again, standing in that aisle a second time, squinting, trying to recreate a choice I already made perfectly well once. Why do it twice? Every decision you can make one time and lock in forever is one less thing tugging at you. And when you're running the whole household solo, you're the buyer, the planner, the rememberer, all of it. That mental space isn't a luxury. So I decide once, and then I never think about socks again. Number 5. Deal with paper the first time it touches your hand. Most of my bills are digital now, like everybody's. But digital doesn't mean it can't get lost, it just gets lost differently. An email bill slides below the fold and vanishes, and the physical stuff that still comes used to land on my counter with the best of intentions and slowly become part of the counter, part of the scenery, I'd stop seeing it entirely. So, one iron rule. I touch it once. A bill comes in, I pay it or schedule it right then. A letter comes, I open it, read it, and decide its fate before I set it down. Recycle, file, act on it, done. It does not go in a later pile. Because here's the truth about the later pile that took me years to understand. It isn't paper. It's a to-do list you never agreed to write, sitting out in the open, quietly stressing you every time you walk past. Same enemy as the undone dishes and the empty-handed trips, a small thing you let stay small, that turned into a weight. So I never let the pile start in the first place. And by now you might be noticing the pattern, because it really is the whole game. Catch it while it's tiny. Number 6. Stop treating cheapest as if it automatically means smartest. This one took me the longest, and I think it's how I was raised. For most of my life, the cheapest option was just the obvious right answer, full stop. And a lot of the time it still is. I watch my pennies. I'm on a fixed income like many of us. But somewhere I'd taken a good rule and turned it into a cage. I was making my own life harder to save an amount that, when I actually looked at it, was small. So here's the bit of math that changed my mind. I worked out, roughly, what an hour of my time is worth to me now. Just a rough number. And I started measuring things against it. The bag of pre-cut vegetables that costs $1 more, but means I actually make the dinner instead of giving up and ordering pizza. The grocery delivery on a week my back's acting up. And against the value of your own hour, your own energy, it's often shockingly cheap to just let it go. Being careful with money was never supposed to mean being cruel to yourself. Spend a little of the money to save a lot of the you. Number 7. Move your body a little, on purpose, every day. And I mean a little. I'm not telling you to join a gym, please. I park at the far end of the lot, so I have to walk across it. I take the long way round the block with the dog. I pace the house during the commercials. That's the whole program. But here's why it matters more when you live alone. When there's nobody else in the house, there's nobody expecting you anywhere. Nobody would even notice if you never got up from the chair. And if you're a happy homebody like me, that's genuinely dangerous. A whole day can slip by, then a whole week, where you've barely moved and no alarm goes off because there's no one there to sound it. So you have to be your own gentle nudge out the door. And for me, it was never really about exercise. When I'm chewing on the same worry over and over, 10 minutes of walking outside loosens it more than an hour of sitting inside stewing ever could. I go out carrying a knot, and somewhere around the third house down, I've set it down without noticing. That dog doesn't know she's my whole wellness program. But she is. And now the last one. Number 8. I saved it for the end on purpose. If you take only one thing from me today, make it this. Let good enough be good enough. The bed does not need hospital corners. The laundry can sit in the basket, folded or not, and the sun still comes up. Dinner doesn't have to look like a magazine. It has to feed me. That's the whole job. For the longest time, I held myself to all these standards, and one day I stopped and actually asked, who is this for? Who am I keeping these perfect corners for? And that's when it hit me, hard. For most of our lives, we do things a certain way because someone might see. We keep the house nice for the guest who might drop by. And then you're living alone, and there's this moment, and it can feel sad at first, I won't lie to you, where you realize the audience has gone home. There's no one watching now, but here's the turn, and I want you to really sit with it. That's not a loss, that's a gift. Nobody's grading you anymore. The performance is over. Your home finally gets to exist for one reason only, to take care of you, not to impress anyone, not to pass inspection, just to hold you gently at the end of the day. The day I stopped tidying for an audience that left years ago, a weight came off me I didn't even know I'd been carrying. And if you live alone, you might be carrying it too. So take this as me giving you permission to set it down. Good enough really is good enough. It might be more than enough, so that's my 8. And looking back, notice that not one of them was dramatic. No big overhaul, no 5 a.m. miracle routine, no expensive system to keep up with and feel guilty about. Because that's the real secret, and it's almost disappointing how simple it is. Living alone, and living alone happily, those are two different skills, and the second one has nothing to do with superhuman discipline. It's dozens of tiny choices, made over and over, until one day they stop being choices at all, and just become who you are. The little habits turn into routines. And the routines, so quietly you'll hardly notice, turn into something people spend their whole lives chasing. A calm life, a peaceful one that feels like it's on your side. And you build it 30 seconds at a time. One empty-handed trip you didn't take. One 2-minute job you just did. One small kindness to tomorrow you. Now, I would truly love to hear from you. What are the little habits that make living on your own easier? The tiny tricks you've figured out that maybe nobody else would even think of. Put them in the comments. I read every one, I really do, and I always come away with something new to try. And everyone else watching gets so much from them too. And if this was what you needed to hear today, go on and give it a like, and subscribe if you haven't, so the next one finds you. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You're doing better than you think. I'll see you in the next one.